This is what they told me to tell y'all, right here. Every single resident
chose to lie, implicate this man, and drag him through this experience from 2009.
The latest developments in the Tiffany Henyard saga have raised serious concerns after her lawyer made a significant mistake. This blunder has left many questioning whether Henyard will lose everything as a result. If it turns out to be a fatal error, it could mark the end of her career as we know it. With the spotlight on her legal troubles, everyone is asking if this is a final straw for Henyard or if she still has a chance to bounce back from the legal missteps and missed court opportunities that have tarnished her case. Stay updated by subscribing for the latest news. Let's dive in.
You do not stand with me, and I want you to step down.
The mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard, lashed out at her board of trustees during another tense meeting.
She vetoed the board.
Tiffany Henyard, the controversial mayor of Dalton, has shocked everyone by making a bold move. This time, it's even bigger, as she's hired a lawyer known for involvement in some of the nation's most infamous cases. It's not about her extravagant spending or contentious board meetings. There's something much larger at play now.
And the honor and the chance.
Tiffany Henyard's decision to hire criminal defense lawyer Brinley earlier this year has placed her at the center of controversy. Brinley, who was brought on after the FBI dispatched agents to the village and township, is now facing accusations of bribery and unethical conduct. These allegations involve his involvement with Henyard's primary attorney, Keith Freeman, leading many to question Brinley's integrity. Henyard's choice to hire Brinley, despite his scandalous past, may prove to be a massive misstep. Brinley's previous cases, including representing R. Kelly's manager in a high-profile child pornography trial, have made him a polarizing figure within the legal community. His legal strategies have been widely criticized, and he has faced multiple allegations of misconduct. This raises concerns about the influence he could have on Henyard's already fragile career. Brinley's reputation is tainted by his involvement in notorious criminal defense cases, which has led to questions about his ethical boundaries. His defense of figures involved in serious criminal charges, such as R. Kelly's manager, has earned him a reputation for bending or breaking legal rules. The manager was accused of witness tampering and child pornography involvement. Brinley's legal maneuvers helped the manager avoid conviction, but they also attracted significant criticism. Brinley has been accused of bribing authorities, encouraging false testimony, and tampering with evidence, tactics that have cast doubt on his professionalism. The growing public scrutiny surrounding Brinley's controversial career has only amplified concerns about Tiffany's decision to hire him. People are now questioning what Henyard may be trying to conceal or achieve by aligning herself with such a divisive figure. The backlash is significant, with many wondering if Henyard has placed her trust in the wrong person and what this could mean for her future in the legal profession as this case unfolds. It is becoming clear that Tiffany Henyard's decision to employ Brinley as her criminal defense lawyer could have far-reaching consequences. Not only could it jeopardize her career, but it may also tarnish her reputation within the legal community, making it a choice that could define her future in the public eye.
Like this before.
Why are you having a federal criminal lawyer sit next to you at the village board meeting? I mean, all I can say is, really? Even in Chicago? Really?
Brinley, the criminal defense lawyer hired by Tiffany Henyard earlier this year after the FBI sent agents to the village and township, is now at the center of an escalating controversy. Recently, he has been accused of charging Henyard's primary attorney, Keith Freeman, with bribery and unethical conduct. This has raised serious concerns about his integrity and ability to operate within the law, putting his professional reputation under intense scrutiny. However, what complicates the situation even more is Tiffany's decision to hire Brinley, given his deeply tarnished past. Many consider this a potentially disastrous choice, especially considering Brinley's long history of involvement in high-profile criminal cases that have attracted widespread criticism. Among his most infamous cases is his representation of R. Kelly's manager in a highly publicized child pornography trial. This case, in particular, has cemented Brinley's reputation as a polarizing figure within the legal world. Brinley's track record is filled with questionable legal strategies and allegations of misconduct. These elements have only served to heighten concerns about his potential influence on Tiffany Henyard's already fragile career. Throughout his career, Brinley has been involved in defending notorious figures who were embroiled in serious criminal charges, gaining a reputation that is impossible for anyone in the legal field to overlook. Henyard's decision to align herself with such a controversial figure is raising alarm bells. Tiffany is known for her expertise, but her association with Brinley who is equally notorious for his ethical lapses, has raised serious questions about her judgment. Many are now wondering whether she has made a monumental mistake in hiring someone with such a controversial reputation, and whether this decision will have lasting consequences on her career. The situation grows even more troubling, considering Brinley's infamous history. Public opinion is now questioning her motivations. Is she trying to conceal something by hiring Brinley? Or is she simply willing to take a massive risk by engaging a lawyer with a history fraught with legal controversies? The public's growing concern stems from Brinley's involvement in the defense of R. Kelly's manager, who faced accusations of witness tampering and involvement in child pornography, a case that was widely publicized and scrutinized. Brinley's legal maneuvers in the case ultimately helped the manager avoid conviction, but not without sparking significant criticism. His tactics included accusations of bribing authorities, encouraging false testimony, and even tampering with evidence, all of which raised serious ethical questions about his methods and the validity of his legal strategy. These troubling allegations paint a picture of a lawyer willing to bend or break the law in order to secure a win, regardless of the moral or legal implications, given Brinley's controversial past and his history of defending high-profile criminal figures. Many are questioning why Tiffany Henyard would choose to hire him. His past, littered with accusations of legal misconduct and unprofessional behavior, now casts a dark shadow over her professional choices, leading to doubts about her judgment. The public is left wondering, what are Tiffany's true motivations? Is she simply seeking a defense lawyer willing to push the boundaries of ethics, or is there something more at play? As she continues to align herself with Brinley, the scrutiny around her grows. Many are left wondering what she might be trying to conceal or accomplish by bringing him into the fold. Her decision to hire him raises more questions than answers, and the growing controversy surrounding her actions is only increasing the attention on her and her career, adding to the complexity of the situation. Is Brinley's involvement in other high-profile criminal defense cases, which have gained widespread media attention. His role in defending notorious criminal figures has often been marked by underhanded tactics, further solidifying his controversial status. As a result, there is mounting concern about what impact his representation might have on Tiffany Henyard's future in the legal profession. If Brinley is unable to avoid the legal and ethical pitfalls that have dogged him throughout his career, what does that mean for Tiffany? Could her professional reputation be irrevocably tarnished by her association with him? And if so, what long-term consequences might she face as a result? These are the critical questions that are being asked as the case continues to unfold. The legal community, along with the public, is watching closely to see how the situation will play out. Tiffany's decision to employ Brinley could very well have lasting effects on her career. As the controversy surrounding Brinley intensifies, it becomes increasingly clear that her choice to place her trust in such a polarizing and controversial figure may have far-reaching consequences. Tiffany Henyard's decision to hire Brinley may be a turning point in her career. The mounting scrutiny over her judgment, combined with the ongoing allegations against Brinley, suggests that her association with him could be a serious risk to her future in the legal profession. What began as an attempt to secure top legal representation is now spiraling into a public relations nightmare. With Brinley's past filled with accusations of misconduct and unethical behavior, Henyard's future is looking more uncertain by the day. As the situation unfolds, it is becoming more evident that this controversial choice may haunt Tiffany for years to come.
And Robert Kelly's lawyers, Edward Jensen and Jerry Margolis, was great work.
McDavid and others knew of Kelly's contact and will act.
Tiffany Henyard's decision to hire Brinley has sparked significant concerns, given his contentious past and reputation for using aggressive legal tactics. Henyard's choice of attorney speaks volumes about her priorities and decision-making, leading many to wonder whether she intends to use Brinley's notorious and combative strategies to handle her growing legal troubles, or if there are darker motives behind her choice. This move has been widely regarded as reckless and could further damage her already fragile reputation. Local town administration and Dalton residents have been vocal in questioning Henyard's judgment, especially considering Brinley's controversial history. The situation worsened when Henyard's previous legal team, the Delgado Law Group, resigned, citing financial difficulties. This left Henyard without representation in 22 ongoing lawsuits, further fueling rumors that her legal troubles are far more serious than she has admitted. The departure of the Delgado Law Group is seen as a red flag, signaling that there are deeper, more complex issues within Henyard's administration that may not be fully understood by the public. Legal teams don't typically resign without significant behind-the-scenes problems, And the resignation has raised questions about what's really going on with Brimley, now leading her defense. Many fear that the situation will only become more complicated. Brimley's involvement in village board meetings alongside Henyard has added to the concern. His history of using questionable legal tactics, such as witness manipulation and ethical violations, has left many doubting his ability to safeguard Henyard's interests. There is growing fear that Brimley's aggressive strategies may not be sufficient to protect her in the long run. In fact, his involvement could ultimately be the final blow to her already troubled political career. Speculation about Henyard's true intentions has intensified, especially following Brimley's attendance at exclusive executive sessions. His presence in these meetings has raised concerns about potential conflicts of interest and undue influence in village affairs. Contractors have even suggested that Brimley's involvement in these meetings may be improper, particularly considering the ongoing FBI investigation into Henyard's actions. A municipal lawyer representing 4 trustees who oppose Henyard has publicly questioned the legality of Brimley's involvement, especially if he is being paid using public funds. Norwood, the municipal lawyer, has raised the possibility that such a deal could be unlawful and may further complicate Henyard's already unstable position. This growing controversy surrounding Henyard's legal decisions and her relationship with Brimley casts a long shadow over her tenure as mayor, which has already been riddled with scandal and ethical questions. One of the most significant allegations against Henyard is financial mismanagement. Critics argue that she has mishandled public funds, leading to a further erosion of trust in her ability to lead. These financial allegations have led to heightened scrutiny of her administration, with investigations now focused on her financial dealings in an attempt to uncover any potential wrongdoing. This has sparked widespread mistrust, with many questioning her integrity and her responsibility as a public servant. The financial mismanagement allegations, combined with her ongoing legal challenges and the ethical concerns surrounding her administration, have created a perfect storm of controversy. As the pressure mounts, Henyard's already fragile position as mayor has become even more precarious. The public is left to wonder whether her legal and political battles will ultimately lead to her downfall. Henyard's decision to hire Brimley, a lawyer with such a contentious history, may only serve to fuel these concerns, raising further questions about her judgment and the true nature of her intentions. The situation continues to evolve, and it remains to be seen how Henyard will navigate these legal and political challenges. However, one thing is clear. Her tenure as mayor is now under intense scrutiny, and the consequences of her choices could have far-reaching effects on her career and reputation. Whether she can overcome these mounting challenges remains uncertain, but the controversy surrounding her actions continues to grow. Henyard's future in office and her place in the political landscape will be heavily influenced by how she handles this increasingly complex and public crisis.
And others agreed to pay money and cause money to be paid on Kelly's behalf to victims, witnesses, and others.
They did the right thing.
$250,000 to a minor to return a tape. $170,000 to cancel a press conference.
And this jury has exonerated Daryl McDavid and exonerated those men right.
Tiffany Henyard's administration has come under intense scrutiny in recent months due to its blatant disregard for state transparency regulations, particularly its failure to comply with an order from the Illinois Attorney General's office to disclose spending records. This disregard has raised serious concerns about the level of transparency in her administration, especially as Henyard and her team initially resisted calls to release the necessary documents. This only fueled suspicions that there was something being hidden from the public. The truth finally came to light when a prominent news organization took legal action and filed a lawsuit in Cook County Circuit Court to compel the release of the records. In response to the lawsuit, a judge ordered Henyard's administration to make a significant number of documents available, including credit card statements that revealed deeply troubling expenditures. These revelations have set off outrage among the public, particularly regarding a trip taken by Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman, and other officials. The most shocking revelation was a 5-day trip to Austin, Texas, in July 2023, where Freeman and 3 other township officials spent more than $220,000 of taxpayer money. The lavish spending included first-class flights, upscale hotel accommodations, extravagant meals, and even personal shopping sprees. Among the receipts that surfaced were staggering charges, such as $1,619 for a stay at the luxurious Fairmont Austin Hotel, $389 at CryoRoots, and $53 for what appeared to be sports-related apparel. These expenditures were far from necessary for public service and have left residents enraged, questioning the appropriateness of such lavish spending on the taxpayers' dime. Keith Freeman, a trusted advisor to Henyard, has been closely tied to these questionable financial decisions. He even went so far as to run interference when concerns about the administration's handling of finances were raised. As calls for a federal investigation into Henyard's spending grew louder, the excessive nature of the expenditures became undeniable. Yet the spending spree didn't stop there. In addition to the $220,000 spent on the Austin trip, Henyard's administration also racked up another $24,275 at Target, Walmart, and Amazon, along with other questionable charges such as $4,400 for Uber Eats, $120 for nearby eateries, $59 at Walgreens, and an astonishing $3,491 for a personal photographer. These revelations only deepened residents' concerns about Henyard's leadership and financial stewardship. Many feel that the misuse of public funds for personal luxuries is a gross violation of public trust. Henyard's apparent abuse of government funds for personal indulgences, such as upscale travel, private security, and even hairstylist fees, has infuriated the public and fueled ongoing investigations. In January, a separate investigation revealed even more extravagant spending, including over $67,000 charged to township credit cards for out-of-town purchases and travel during the first 5 months of 2023. Yet this wasn't the most alarming aspect of the revelations. A closer look at Dalton's credit card bills uncovered numerous charges for vacations to high-end destinations like New York, Atlanta, and Portland, further highlighting the apparent misuse of taxpayer dollars by Henyard and her administration. The extensive nature of the spending, combined with a complete lack of transparency and accountability, has raised serious questions about Henyard's judgment and whether she has been abusing her position for personal gain. As these financial discrepancies continue to be uncovered, residents and political opponents alike are calling for greater scrutiny and accountability. The growing pressure on Henyard to explain these expenditures has become a defining issue in her tenure as mayor. Yet this is not the only controversy surrounding Henyard's administration. Keith Freeman has served as a top aide and trusted advisor to Henyard for several years, overseeing operations in both Dalton and Thornton Township. Freeman has been involved in running interference when documents and issues arose, adding to the growing financial scandal. But things took another dark turn when newly surfaced documents revealed that Henyard had rented 3 luxury SUVs for personal use at a cost exceeding $374. This added to the growing financial controversy and exposed more dubious spending patterns by Henyard's team. When asked about the cost of her opulent travels, Henyard denied culpability, claiming she had nothing to do with the credit card transactions, even though ample evidence showed she was responsible for the expensive expenditures. As the financial condition of the village continues to worsen, public opinion of Henyard's leadership has only deteriorated. Her apparent lack of fiscal prudence has led to calls for increased transparency, particularly regarding unresolved licensing concerns that have forced the closure of numerous local businesses, including Lawrence Gardner Trucking Company. While Gardner won a case in his favor and denies charges of selling alcohol without a license, he believes the action against him may have been driven by hidden agendas. He asserts that company owners were under pressure to provide $3,500 to the village when Henyard gained office, casting further doubt on the administration's moral integrity. Henyard's responses to these growing criticisms have not helped her image. At a village board meeting, she rebuffed the criticism, arguing that the public only knew one side of the issue and that her administration was being unfairly attacked. Despite her attempts to divert attention, many people are questioning her ability to lead, particularly given that her administration continues to struggle with financial mismanagement, including a $2 million deficit at Village Hall. This deficit was later found to be far worse than initially reported. Former trustee Edward Steve has been outspoken in his criticism of Henyard, accusing her of using her power to silence her detractors. The case of Thea Stubbs, a former village trustee, is a prime example. After publicly criticizing Henyard, Stubbs was allegedly targeted by a hitman who damaged her car. Stubbs claims that Henyard deliberately developed ties with law enforcement to ensure that any grievances against her would be disregarded, as if the political and financial scandals weren't enough. Henyard is now embroiled in a much more severe and unsettling issue. She has been accused of sexual assault while on a business trip to Las Vegas in a civil case filed against her in April 2024. The case, which was brought by Henyard's former assistant, also names a village trustee as a defendant. The assistant claims that the trustee assaulted her following a supper during the trip. She asserts that she was in bodily discomfort and had no recollection of how she ended up in the trustee's hotel room. When she woke up the next morning, Henyard's $1 million security team member, Officer Byron Miles, also filed a second complaint, alleging that the trustee had threatened him during a FaceTime chat that evening. Miles says the trustee boasted about the assault and showed the assistant in a compromising position despite these serious accusations. Henyard allegedly pledged to take action after the assistant and Miles reported the incident. However, instead of taking action, she allegedly placed the assistant on unpaid medical leave without her agreement, effectively silencing her and inciting public outrage. The trustee in question has refuted the allegations, claiming that he was only attempting to help the assistant, whom he thought was intoxicated. However, the evidence, including the FaceTime call, paints a much darker picture. Many are questioning Henyard's unwillingness to assist her staff in the face of such serious charges, which has only fueled calls for her resignation to make matters worse. Henyard's decision to appoint Bo Brindley as her attorney in the midst of all these issues has raised further concerns. Many people find Brindley's appointment puzzling for a public official already under intense scrutiny. His controversial background, including his role in defending R. Kelly's manager, has led to further doubts about Henyard's judgment, especially considering the significant stakes for her political future. Brindley's track record of questionable legal strategies has only increased concerns about the direction Henyard's administration is taking, especially as her legal and political troubles continue to mount given the mounting controversies. It's hardly surprising that many are now wondering whether Henyard made a crucial mistake in bringing Brindley into her legal team. His damaged reputation and recent transgressions have only added fuel to the fire. As the scandals continue to surface, Henyard's term as mayor appears to be in jeopardy. The numerous criticisms of her leadership, ranging from financial mismanagement and ethical violations to grave criminal charges, have led many to wonder if this will mark the end of her political career. Henyard's tenure as mayor has never been more precarious, with public opinion of her leadership sinking to new lows. Whether she can survive this storm remains to be seen, but it's clear that the consequences of her choices could have far-reaching effects on her career, reputation, and the future of the village she serves.